All right, so less than 24 hours after President Obama laid out his ambitious debt-cutting plan, Republicans have come out swinging on this. They say that the president's speech sounded more like a campaign pitch than a plan to fix the economy. Pollster Frank Luntz recently put this question about how to deal with this problem in our country to a focus group. He asked voters what they want to see from the U.S. government on this. Take a listen to what they said.
It trickles down. If you're not yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does. If you're not funding things, if services at the federal level get cut, it trickles down. There's always a trickle down effect. If you're cutting something, it has to come from somewhere.
It trickles.
And I agree.
No, it's coming from us to begin with. I don't need to send it to the center of the country to come back down to me. It gets lost in the middle.
It trickles down, but
that's the government. That's what needs to be cut.
I pay
not
local
all
and
the
state
spending.
taxes
The way
for a
that it
reason.
comes
It needs
out.
to stay there.
it trickles down. But at one point, we survived without these government programs, and now we're funding these government programs. We have to start go backwards to where we started off in the beginning.
We have to change how it's run, but you can't eliminate everything.
I'm saying get responsible about it.
But every family can cut their. We all cut our budget. The government can cut its budget too. We all have to share in these cuts.
However, an idea about entitlement, okay? I will be a senior citizen in about 15 years. And I've been responsible with my own finances, and for the good of the country, and in order to have the country survive a good financial condition, I will give up my entitlement. I will not.
You'd give it up?
Yes.
Well, a whole lot of people, I don't think some of you, would you give yours up?
I would give some of mine up, yes.
Oh, come on, would you give yours up?
I have no entitlement to give up at this point.
Would you give it up?
I've been working on it.
I'm already on Social Security, and I wrote to Ryan that I would give up to 10% of my Social Security.
I'm not going to get it either. The point is, every time I work and create income, either my business or a job, I realize every time I get taxed, I have less options now.
Fascinating, isn't that? How about that? All right, Simon Rosenberg joins us now, president of the NDN, a left-thinking, leaning think tank, she said, and a former campaign advisor to President Clinton. Good to have you with us, Simon. Neal Asbury is CEO of the Legacy Company and author of Conscientious Equity. Gentlemen, I just want to get your reaction to that. Simon, what do you think about those people offering to give up their entitlements because they think the government has no clue how to get a control under this problem?
Look, I've done tons of market research and polling in my own life, and dynamics can settle in at focus groups. I mean, there has been a mountain of polling about this subject, and the American people are not interested in giving up their entitlements. They're also not interested. I think that if you explain to them that what it means to give up Medicare is that you will be a senior citizen without any health insurance whatsoever, I don't think that they would go for it. So I think that the data shows.
So what are you saying, that those people weren't thinking what they said they were thinking?
No, what I'm saying is that I don't think that one little snippet actually is accurate in terms of what has been an issue that's been polled and polled and polled and polled again. People don't want to give up their entitlements. It's the least popular way of cutting the budget in every poll that's been taken over the last 6 months.
I think that there's an extraordinary sort of new level of understanding across this country about what it means to try to get an actual handle on everything. And that people do. That woman said, I'm willing to take some pain if it means that I will be convinced that the government's actually trying to do something about that. Mr. Asbury, talk to me about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. But if she gives up her Medicare, it means she'll have no health insurance whatsoever.
Well, no, I got the impression that she's in a fairly decent financial situation. She said, I have looked after myself. I am ready for retirement.
Seniors will not be able to buy. Seniors will not be able to buy. The problem with Paul Ryan's plan is that today 20% of people in this country who are under senior citizen age cannot get health insurance. Senior citizens will not be able to buy health insurance on the open market ever in the United States. It's never going to happen.
So what I'm hearing,
so these people would be without health insurance altogether.
But what I'm hearing from Simon is that if we don't just go ahead, Neal.
Yeah, let's go back to where Medicare was started. It was started in 1965 as part of LBJ's Great Society. And at that time, you could enroll at 65 like you can today, and life expectancy was 70 years old. Today, it's nearly 79 years old. Our health care system has been incredibly successful. Sometimes we overlook that fact. People are living longer. The people who are enrolling in Medicare today will receive more benefits than they put in, and that's before 80 million baby boomers start to retire. I mean, we're just not going to have the money there. And anybody who thinks that we're going to have the money there, I'd like to see where it's going to come from.
Yeah, Simon, how do you argue? Let me go back to Simon for a second. How do you argue that you shouldn't cut these entitlement programs? And let me just preface all this by saying I haven't heard anybody. Let me just finish my thought. I haven't heard anybody say that they think that people who are receiving these benefits right now should have cuts. What we're talking about is people who were born in 1970 and after, who may have a different way of investing that the government could help them provide that would help to make for their benefits. Because, you know, hello, they're not going to get anything under the current environment.
So what Barack Obama proposed yesterday was not only cutting spending on Medicare in particular, which is the major problem of the three programs, right? But he also talked about ways of saving money in the programs themselves. Paul Ryan has not offered either of those solutions. What Paul Ryan has offered is getting rid of Medicare altogether and leaving seniors to go to the open private market, right? So he's not.
No, he's talking about pushing it back to the states, giving the states a designated amount of money.
That's Medicaid. Medicare, right? What he's proposing is eliminating it altogether. Barack Obama is the only person proposing actual cuts in the spending of Medicare and the reduction of spending on Medicare. Paul Ryan doesn't offer that. What he offers is the elimination of the program altogether. So they're offering very competing visions, and Obama's is closer, I think, to the people's vision in that video than Paul Ryan's is.
Quick thought, Neal, and then we got to go.
What President Obama did yesterday is that he had to pander to his liberal elite base because they're distrusting him right now. He took a hard turn to the left instead of coming to the center where this country is. I mean, the center of this country is very scared about these deficits and about Social Security, which we spend about 20% of all our revenue on, 56 million people receiving Social Security checks, and there's about 80 million boomers, baby boomers that's going to start receiving their Social Security. We just don't have the money. And this woman who spoke before was right. People like us who have been successful are going to have to take less and work longer. And I don't think we could wait until the generation born in the 70s. I think we have to take action right now. And we can't be out there making poisonous speeches. We have to take action. We have to move to the center. We have to be real adults about this and make some sacrifices.
Both got your perspective in, and I appreciate it. But I would encourage all politicians to take a look at that tape because I hear that kind of sentiment a lot, that people are willing to sort of take the pain. And until they see that people in Washington are willing to take the pain a little bit, you know, some of those folks may have a difficult time getting reelected. But it will all be revealed. And we thank you so much, Simon and Neal.
Have us back, Martha. Have us back.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
We'd like to go at it again.
Good. Well, you know what? This is far from over, right? All right.